how is the communication between you and your teammates? Do you know the language Tagalog, or do you guys speak English mostly? Which of them?
Yeah, of course. I understand like 80% of Tagalog.
And you speak it?
And I speak it. But we also communicate in English. If it's something I cannot say in Tagalog, then I'll say it in English because most of them speak English as well.
Okay.
So yeah, but communication is not a problem because I understand Tagalog and I can speak, and they understand English and they can speak too. So I think language is not a barrier.
Alright, hello guys, welcome back to our channel once again. So today we are going to have another interview section with someone special. So I want you all to meet him. He goes by the name Nasty, but it will be much more better if you do the introduction yourself. So welcome to our channel. So please introduce yourself and how long you've stayed in the country.
My name is Nasty Ngwaza, but you can call me Nas. And I've stayed here for 8 years already.
Wow. Yeah. So what brought you to the country, to the Philippines?
Okay, so ideally I came here to study. That was just the thing on my mind when I came here, just studies.
Okay, so I did introduce you as a volleyball player. So how did you start playing for the, how did you find your talent and how did you start playing the volleyball? How did it come about to become part of you?
Okay, so I started playing volleyball at a very early age. I think age 13 or so, first year in high school. And it's not like I already knew what the game was all about, but the first day I stepped into our secondary school, I was going to check in my dormitory and then I saw the guys playing, the school team playing. And they were so good, like so good, and it was my first time ever seeing people play volleyball. Okay. So I said, okay, I think I've gotten what I'll do. So immediately I checked in, I came back, watched the rest of the game, and that's it. I started coming for training the next day. And that's how everything started. Yeah.
So, you know, in Nigeria, everybody play soccer. That's football.
Yeah, that's right.
And you chose volleyball. Like, did you try football before you decided, okay, no, I don't like it, let me go with volleyball?
I mean, even when I was playing volleyball, I still played football, or what they call soccer. But volleyball in my school was kind of like a special game.
Yeah.
Like if you were in a volleyball team, then you will not do any other sports.
Oh.
Only volleyball, yeah. We were one of the best teams in all of our state and almost in all of Nigeria. The best volleyball team. Like people just knew us everywhere like that. So and the reason for that was because the coach and the coaches and maybe the school paid so much attention to that volleyball team. So if you decided to belong to the team, you cannot do any other sport. But of course, football, it's a, should I say, national sport in Nigeria. Yeah. So everyone plays it. But yeah, I don't like contact sports, so that's why I just chose volleyball.
Yeah. Okay. So when you came to the country, Philippines, did you apply for it, or what was the process you took?
I didn't know that volleyball was so famous here.
Wow.
I came totally blind. I didn't know. So just like what happened in secondary school, I got to my school. I was walking towards the admin block to do my enrollment.
Yeah.
And then I saw the guys training in volleyball again. And that day, I didn't wait the next day. So when I was coming back, I saw that they've already finished training and they were just gisting around with their coach. So I approached their coach and asked him if I can come to train the next day. So I was less than 2 weeks in the country and I already started playing volleyball here. So I didn't know. I didn't know at all. So the coach said, sure, it's fine. I didn't even have sportswear. If you saw what I used to go to my first training, it was so embarrassing. So the next day when I came to training, the second day, the guys brought jerseys for me. They brought, they thought I don't have jerseys, something like that. But actually I didn't have truly.
So you were right.
Yeah, they were right. But in order not to feel embarrassed, I refused them.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to feel embarrassed. Like, you're foreigner, you came from another country, and you don't have sportswear. That's embarrassing, right? Yeah, so I just went and bought stuff for myself.
So are you still playing for your school, or have you started playing pro right now?
Yeah, currently I'm playing pro. I stopped playing for my school back in 2020. I actually played just 3 years in college instead of the 4 because I took the usual units instead of taking the varsity units. I took the usual units, so I graduated very fast. Yeah.
So between playing for the school that's varsity and pro, it is pro more harder than the school, or is it just the same?
Well, obviously, pro it's harder. I mean, the demand both on your mental strength, your physical strength, and I mean everything. It's harder in a pro environment. So yeah, it's more difficult being a pro than in the college. But of course, when you are still a college student, you don't have experience as a pro yet. So at that moment, it's still hard for you when you're just in the college. So. But when you get to experience the next level, you know that college was just easy. Yeah.
So like, I'm very sure volleyball have positions just like football.
Yeah, of course.
So what's your position?
I play primarily in the middle, what they call middle blocker.
Okay.
Yeah, but over the years I've played as an outside hitter as well. But I think since third year college up until now, I've played as a middle blocker.
And that's your strength, right? Or like, is that your best position?
Yeah, I can say that's my best position because I've not been better anywhere else. So yeah, and I'm really, really fast in the middle. So it's not like my highest strength. It's the blocking itself. It's just how fast we're attacking in the middle. So yeah.
So okay, you previously said you didn't take the Veritas course for you to while you were in college, so you took the normal route.
Yeah.
So how did you juggle it up? Because taking the normal route, I'm sure it's much more difficult.
Yeah. This is what happens. This is what happens here with schools that combine athletics and I don't know, but I'm pretty sure most of the schools follow the same thing my school did. So they always prioritize the athletes. Like they wait for the coaches to come up with their training schedules, and then that's when they'll do the timetables for each class, for each subject, so you don't have conflicts. So if the team decides to train in the morning, then rest assured that none of you on the team has a class in the morning.
Wow.
So if your training is from 6 a.m. to let's say 9 a.m., your class will start by 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., something like that. So there's actually no clash. And normally what Filipinos do is they want to play longer in college.
Oh.
So instead, every athlete, once you're coming into the team, you have 5 years to play for that school. You cannot play more than 5 years. So you only have 5 years to play for the school. So what they do is they consume all the 5 years. So let's say they open 28 units in a semester, but then the varsity program only offers scholarship on 24 units or 18 units.
Okay.
Yeah, so they will take 18 units so they don't have to pay anything.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. They will take 18 units so they don't have to pay anything. Yeah.
So that's to say, wait, were you on the scholarship?
Yeah, you're on the scholarship. The scholarship covers 18 units and miscellaneous.
Okay.
So if you take 18 units for a semester, that's for my school. Other school, everything is free. If you like, you can take 30 units, but it's still free. For all those big schools like Ateneo, NU, yeah, once you're an athlete there, everything is free for you. But I didn't go to a very big school, although I'm still grateful that I went to PC and I got the chance to play there, but I didn't go. PC, of course, it's not a UAP school, so it's not regarded as one of the top schools here, even though it's one of the older schools here. So they only offer scholarship for 18 units. So if you take more than 18 units, you're going to pay for the extra units that you took.
Oh, okay. So did you guys have summer classes as well, or summer was just for games only? Which of them?
No, we were not allowed to take summer classes as athletes because that's when we normally do our summer training. Yeah, so we're not allowed to take all those summer classes. No, we're not allowed.
So is it possible, okay, you're 3 years in college playing, is it possible for someone to be invited to play for a school from Nigeria? Or will the person have to still go through the route of schooling and everything?
Actually, schools here recruit from abroad. They recruit from Africa, they recruit from the US, other countries.
Wow.
Yeah, but you are still regarded as a student, but their Actually, I have a friend who I introduced to Ateneo. He's currently playing for Ateneo right now. He was recruited from Ateneo. They did everything for him. They flew him here, and now he's playing for them in the UAAP. So they recruit, especially in basketball, they recruit a lot. Even my former school, they recruited I think 3 guys from Cameroon. Yeah, 2 guys from Cameroon and 1 from Congo. So
Wow.
they recruit for sports, but you still have to study.
Study as well.
Yeah.
So that's to say, if you're coming, you'll be coming under the
Student visa. They will do
as well.
everything for you. Yeah, you come not the same process, just that you're not spending money to do anything. They are doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how will they apply? Like, will they submit their videos, or will they have someone in the country that will help in submitting their videos? How will they?
I think they have scouts.
Okay.
I think most of these schools have scouts that they are looking for top players in Africa, and then there are some agencies that recruit college athletes for schools. So all you need to do is just get registered with one of those agencies, just like in a pro league.
Yeah.
If you belong to an agency, the agency is the one that will look for a pro club for you, negotiate everything, and then you just go there to play. So for college athletes, it's still the same. There are agencies that operate primarily for recruiting athletes for colleges. So they get your videos, and then they talk to the schools. They submit your information there, and the school likes you, and they see that you have potential to develop. Of course, they'll invest to bring you to the country, and you can play for them.
So right now, as a pro, you also have an agency, right?
Yeah, I have an agency, but a European agency.
Was it difficult finding an agency?
Yeah, it was quite difficult, and I honestly got it when I least expected. So I've actually contacted a few agencies myself, trying to find representation, but I got nothing until I played my first pro year in the Philippines with the Navigators. It was after that year that agency reached out to me, that they're interested in signing me. They think I'm ready for the next level and stuff like that. So okay, fine. So we agreed on terms. They sent a contract. I signed, and they started promoting me and doing all those agency stuff.
Okay, that's actually nice. Yeah. So, like, is there okay? For example, now in job referral, like if someone refer you to a job, the process is easier than when you go looking for a job. So in this agency, you said it's difficult to get one. Like, is there an easier way for someone to get an agency?
I mean, it's just publicity.
That's all. Yeah,
that's all. If you are able to make videos of yourself while you're playing, I mean, in sports generally, the only thing that does work for you is it's videos. So people has to see what you can do on the court or what you can do on the pitch. That's when they can even choose to see if you are someone they can invest in. But what agencies do is, most of them have scouts.
Okay.
Yeah, so most of them have scouts that are watching international leagues, they're watching college leagues, trying to find potential talents that they can bring to their agency. Yeah. Because of course they're making money from us.
Of course.
So, for example, right now, every month my club pays me, they pay 10% to the agency.
Agency as well.
Yeah. So it's an investment for them.
Okay.
They invest their time to watch, and then when you're recruited and you have a contract, they're making money from on top of you every month. So that's what they do.
That's nice. So now to your personal life.
Okay.
Don't be scared. Like, do players have a strict diet? And for example, do you guys go to gyms every day? Like, what is it like?
I mean, gym is like our house.
Okay.
Yeah. Gym is like our house, especially one of the things that make it so difficult playing professionally as an athlete, and what most people don't understand is, I mean, the kind of physical training you have to go through and just to keep your body in condition to compete all the time. Wow. You have to be very mindful of what you drink, what you eat, the time you sleep, the time you wake up.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, everything. It's a lot and a lot of discipline. I mean, you can never see me drinking in a bar in Makati at 2 a.m. No, I can never do that. Even though I'm totally independent, I cannot do that because it will affect my performance in training, my performance in the next game, and every day I go to training, not 100%, it counts. And it helps the coaches, it helps the management to make decisions about me.
Yeah.
So if you're an athlete, those things are very, of course, we have time off, like this week we did not train.
Okay.
So let's say from Tuesday until now, there was no training because we just finished a tournament. I can go to a club because I don't have to go to training for the whole week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not saying we don't do that. We sometimes do it. But then we have to be very disciplined about everything, especially when we are in season. In terms of diet, yeah, we tend to feed more on protein.
Okay.
Yeah, more on protein, and then maybe a lot of water and energy drinks and stuff like that. We have coaches. We have, let's say, dietary coaches that take care of the meals, every training, every game. So we just go there to eat and play.
So okay, give me a brief summary. Like for example, let's say today you have a game. What will your activities be like? Like when will you wake up? When will you come back home? Or will they like keep you guys in a hotel where you guys can easily navigate to where you're playing the ball?
Yeah, so right now with Signal, they like to keep us close.
Okay.
So if we're having a tournament, they don't like players traveling because I think about 4 of us live in Cavite, and then some around Manila, but still far from the venues where we play. So Signal likes to keep us close. So let's say we're playing Areneta in QC.
Okay.
Then they'll just lodge us in a hotel somewhere around QC.
Okay.
But that's just the preparation on the team side. As an individual, as an athlete, what I normally do is because we jump a lot.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes, of course, it hurts. So if I come back on the eve of a game, the first thing I do is ice bath.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll just buy a lot of ice, put it in a bath, and then soak my legs, just my legs. And when it starts to feel cold on my bones, then I'll go out. And it's a very nice cool down. The next day I feel fresh. I feel like I've never jumped that whole week.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so that's how I kind of like, that's one of my rituals that I do before game. And it's so difficult to sleep before a game. I don't know for other athletes, but for me it's so difficult to sleep because I keep playing the game in my head. And the game is next day, but I'm just like, it's like I've played the game before and it's just flashing in my head and I can't sleep. But I have to force myself to sleep, and then wake up in the morning. I don't eat anything heavy in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, normally I don't eat anything heavy in the morning because when you wake up you're full of energy, and when you eat food you get weak.
Yes.
You get weak, so I don't eat. Maybe the only thing I do is I take coffee, or maybe like Kuka oats, or yeah, just anything hot, but very little. Then I go to the game, and we're only allowed to eat like 3 hours before a game. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That sounds difficult. Jumping on the ice.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We jump like 2 million times in 1 week. We jump for a living.
Yeah. All right. So okay, that's okay. I don't think I'll be able to play volleyball because the jumping. Like the last game I watched, I saw you guys jump, and there was a meter close by, and I calculated. I was like, Jesus, this guys jumped up to 4 meters high. Like, wow. but like, wow. So you say you don't sleep before the game because you keep playing the game in your head.
I mean, I sleep, but it's just difficult to fall asleep. Yeah.
Is that anxiety or?
Actually, it's not anxiety. It's just excitement, or I don't know. It feels like an excitement. I only have an anxiety when, like, maybe a few minutes to the game, especially if there's a huge crowd.
Okay.
Yeah. If we're in the gym, we're in the gym, and we're just like doing the warm ups and stuff like that, and then the fans are coming in. Especially if it's a pressure game, you begin to feel. I think every athlete feels that.
Yeah.
I've not spoken, but I think everyone feels that the pressure in the game, like especially if it's a must-win game. But the moment the game starts, it all goes away.
Just like that.
Yeah, the moment you do your first action, everything goes away. You don't mind the people that are in the crowd. You just focus within the court, like. But yeah, there's that anxiety. That's that anxiety before a game. But once you start the first action, it's gone.
Wow.
That's for me. I don't know for other athletes,
but for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the toughest challenge you have ever faced?
toughest challenge.
Yes.
I think it's right now with Signal. It's the biggest club in the Philippines. One of the most recognizable clubs in all of Asia in terms of volleyball. So from being one of the most established players in the league here, with my former team, the Navigators, of course there I was a main man, and then I have to come into Signal. I have to prove that I need to be in the team again. So it's not like it's something about my skills, because if it was about my skills, of course they won't sign me.
Yeah.
So it's more of mental, like I have to, every time they call the first six and my name is not there, I'm wondering, I begin to wonder, like, you know, emotions start going around my head and stuff. And so the biggest challenge is, you know, right now. And then even in terms of the physical demand, our trainees, we train like 4 to 5 times a week.
Wow.
And before every training, our training start from 6:30 to 10:30 in the night. So 6:30 to 7:30 is in the gym. Then from 7:30 to 10:30 court training. So every day we go to training, we hit weights first, then ball. Weights first, then ball. I've never done it like that since I've been playing. We always have days where we go to the gym and then days where we train the court. But now we combine everything on one day. Yeah. So sometimes I get home like 1 a.m.
Wow.
So let's say we train at Ateneo. From Ateneo back here, it's like 1 hour, 30 minutes. And so I get home like 12 a.m. and then I sleep and wake up the next day around 9 or so. And then, yeah. So I think right now at this stage of my career is the most difficult I've ever faced. And any other one I can maybe mention, it's when I first started training in college, because it was like nothing I've never belonged to a proper program before, where there's a coach, it's a gym coach, and then there's a program. I mean, there's a program, not like in Nigeria where we just go and play.
Yeah.
I came here, I was like a stick. I mean, I had the power, I had the skill, and I had the power to hit the ball, but I was like a stick. There was no stamina.
Yeah.
So once here, they actually care about how you look physically.
Okay.
Not just your skill. So that's why they have all those summer training programs where sometimes we can even travel out of the country or maybe go to another province just to train. And most of the training is physical training. We're not using balls. Like in my former school, we do summer training for like 2 months and we didn't touch a ball.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just in the gym, plyometrics, court exercises, and stuff like that. Though when the season is getting closer, that's when we start. It's like every year they take us back to the basics.
Okay.
It's like we're starting to learn how to dig, to volley,
yeah.
the positions on the court, the rotation, everything, jumping, blocking patterns, everything. We go back from scratch till we build up, and then we'll start the season. So that's how it is. I mean, every club. Okay. Yeah.
So, how is the communication between you and your teammates? Do you know the language Tagalog, or do you guys speak English mostly? Which of them?
Yeah, of course. I understand like 80% of Tagalog.
And you speak it?
And I speak it. But we also communicate in English. If it's something I cannot say in Tagalog, then I'll say it in English, because most of them speak English as well.
Okay.
So yeah, but communication is not a problem, because I understand Tagalog and I can speak, and they understand English and they can speak too. So I think language is not a barrier.
So wait, how did you learn the language? Was it during your college? Or?
Yeah, during my college. I think it's just instincts. I told you how I started training just 1 week or 2 weeks there.
Yeah.
The coach didn't even give a damn if I
understood what.
Yeah, they were just speaking their Filipino, and I just have to tap someone and ask what the coach was saying. Then, as time went on, you keep listening to words repeatedly. You start building your vocabulary in that language. So that is it. And I've pretty much lived my life here with Filipinos, so I have no choice than to learn their language. So in the whole year, we train like 8 months, so the break is just like 2 months. So every time you go to training, you're with Filipinos. Every time you go to a game, you're with Filipinos. And then we do stuff like team buildings, and they can just invite us to their house. Maybe there's a birthday or a wedding or something like that. So it's just Filipino like that.
So you learned the language like that?
Just like that.
Okay, so what's the best thing you would say that have happened to you, both in the game, both personal life and staying in the country, like your whole 8 years in this country, in those three instances? What are the best things that have happened to you?
The best things.
Yeah.
This one is very difficult because I can say maybe I'll start with the game because that's where I have most of my memories in this country. Basically, it's just volleyball. And the most memorable year I had in volleyball was, let me say, 2023.
That's last year.
That's last year. You'll be surprised, but that's when I started playing volleyball again because I stopped since 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. So those 2 years I did not play volleyball for 2 years, partly because of pandemic, and I just got out of college. I didn't have a team anymore, and you know I was so immersed into tech. You know, I studied IT, right? So I was so immersed into tech. At the time, I was working for like up to 6 companies.
Okay.
So I even barely had time, but volleyball has been something I've always wanted to do. So I think around July 2022, that's when I started hitting the gym again. I hit the gym for straight 6 months. I'll go in the morning, then do the bicycle ride. I even bought a bicycle, it's downstairs. I was fat. If you saw me during that time, I wasn't like this.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to work to come back to get like to be like this. I was fat. I can even show you videos where when I started playing, you see the clear difference. Like you saw that I had a body, but when I got back into the game, I became smaller again. Yeah, I became smaller again. So I don't know, but I hit the gym and for like from July till December. So around December, I think one of my friends invited me to play in Manila.
Okay.
So the guy that we played on his team, it's not actually any club team, it's just a team. That they have something here like managers that just form group of volleyball players and they go, but they make a lot of money from that. They can just play a very organized league that is not even covered on TV, but people will take home like 20,000 pesos, 30,000. Yeah, they call it one day league. They have up to like 12 teams that play the whole league in just one day.
Wow.
Yeah, and the winning team can take up to 200,000. It happens in all sports, basketball, even all these chicken hens that they use. Yeah. So it's not only the athletes that are playing on TV that make money from sports here. Even the ones that are playing locally in their barangays, they still make money because they organize all those one-day leagues and the cash prices are so high, especially in the Mindanao, in the northern part of the country.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I went there to play, the guy that I played on his team invited me again, and we played in somewhere in Los Banos in Laguna. So the guy that was a setter on that team played for the Navigators.
Oh.
So when he got back to Manila, he told the manager, the team manager of the Navigators, that he would like me to be on the team. And like that, they invited me for a tryout, and I trained with them a few days, and that was how I got into the Navigators. And we went for a training camp in Iloilo. We went to Cebu, and then we came back, and my very first Spikers turf in the Philippines, I got this award.
Wow.
Yeah, I got this award, and that was like kind of like my breakout year in volleyball. I became so like, I mean, in terms of volleyball, I became so popular in the Philippines. Like a lot of things like chatting me, am I available to do this, to do that? Like, so I think that year, that year and that season with the Navigators is the best thing that has ever happened to me in terms of sports. I wouldn't say signing for Signa is it because, of course, I just got here.
Yeah.
If not for the Navigators, I wouldn't.
Of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't. So I would say that 2023 season from January to, I think around May, yeah, is the best thing. In terms of life in general, you know, this country has a lot of tourist places that you can go to. I've actually traveled to a lot of places here, so I can say staying here, that is kind of something that it's much better. Like, you know, it's the best thing that can happen to you here because as you travel, you make memories.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, I think that's all I can think of.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, in Nigeria,
Yeah.
you are either a doctor, recently they added the IT engineer. So you're either a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and the IT, the tech guy. That's what they called it. How did your parents feel when they found out that, okay, my son is doing volleyball in this country? Like, how did they take it?
That's going to be very funny because it's been war with my parents ever since I started playing volleyball in Nigeria. Like, if I was not in school and I was at home and I went to play volleyball and I came back, I get flogged.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm serious. Every time I went to play volleyball when I was on vacation, I came back home, I get flogged. Sometimes I was even locked outside, but I'll still go the next day. Anyway. Yeah, so that's how much my parents were against me combining volleyball and academics. All they thought about was go to school, cum laude, get distinctions, get this, get scholarship to heaven, to America, to wherever they want. The only thing they knew was academics. My parents only started supporting me after they found out that I got a scholarship to play volleyball here. That was what it's like, so this guy is actually serious about this volleyball thing. So that was when I started getting little support from them. But now everything has changed because, of course, I'm not a college student anymore. I'm not a college player anymore. So they are so proud. They're even asking me to get jerseys for them. My mom has like 3 or 4 of my jerseys.
Wow.
And she keeps asking for more. Like, tell your team to make jerseys for me, like something like that. So they are so proud now. But when I started, it wasn't always like that. So it was just me, my hard-headed and how much I wanted to play volleyball. If not, I would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah. Let me see. Collect beating very well.
Very well. Collect beating. Slept in the back of the house because I went to play volleyball.
Wow, your parents really didn't like the game.
They didn't like it.
So you mentioned previously that you were working. How did you get a job in this country? Because most people we have interviewed, most people we have talked to personally, they always say the same thing. Getting job is difficult, except you speak certain languages, which is either the French, the Spanish, Japanese, Nihongo. Like, how did you apply and how did you get?
You said I'm tech, right?
Yes.
So I actually got my first job here in 2019 when I was approaching graduating out of school. So it was this company that makes they make and sell bags, APDB Restore, and they had just built a website for them. They needed someone that can manage it. Okay. So it was not like a job that I have to leave my house to come there every day, and it was not so organized of a company, but yeah, it was a big company because when I started working with them, they had about 17 branches in the Philippines. And I was managing their website. The pandemic has just started, and of course they cannot open their physical stores, so they needed to transform from all those brick and layer stores to e-commerce. So they had a website and they needed someone who can help them manage it, upload their products there so they can sell online. So that's how I got my first job here with APDB Restore, and they didn't even have Facebook account, Facebook pages or Instagram pages. I was the one. I set the whole company online. I created business profile for them and run Google Ads and stuff like that. But yeah, I think during that period, if you had tech skills, it was very easy to get jobs. Because shortly after that one, I still got a job with the biggest wine importer in the Philippines, EWC Philippines. I worked with them for 3 years since that time, and it was still in tech. It's a beverage company, but because of the pandemic, they could not sell in their physical stores, so they needed a website and they needed to do online marketing, so they needed tech guys. So I got the job there as well. So that was 2 in the Philippines. So, and I didn't even have that much experience that time. I was still learning how to make websites, and I was still learning, but I started after high school, so I knew how to navigate the web and do stuff like that. But those 2 jobs giving most of my experiences that I had in tech before I even got jobs in like Canada or US and stuff like that.
Okay. So it was nice knowing you. So what would you say is your life mantra, like your life quote?
My life quote, it's actually a Bible verse.
No problem.
Yeah. I'm not
What?
trying to become a pastor right now, but it's a Bible verse, and I believe everything happens if it's supposed to happen, and it will happen at the time that it is supposed to happen, because all my life, the things that I've wanted have not come when I've actually wanted them, but they eventually came.
Okay.
So my mantra is just, when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen.
What
And
verse is that?
That's Isaiah 60 verse 22.
Wow.
So if you're chasing anything in life and you're trying to reach any goal, it's not happening for you, you just have to keep pushing and pushing, and when the time is right, if you believe, if you work hard, if you put in the work, it will surely happen. For me, I first started Signal 6 years ago, and now I'm playing for Signal. I didn't even come to this country thinking about playing volleyball, but I'm playing for the biggest club. So it's just my life mantra.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So thanks for having this interview.
Yeah, sure.
I really
No
appreciate your time. So guys who want to stay, thank you for staying with us. And please do not forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share.
Very important.
Very, very important. Thank you. So have a nice day, guys, and bye. All right.